Monero is the most banned cryptocurrency in the world. It's been removed from more than 73 crypto exchanges, including Binance and OKX. But the reason it's banned is exactly what makes it so unique. In fact, there is no other crypto like Monero. But what is Monero? Why do crypto exchanges hate it? What problem does it aim to solve? And does it have a future? Well, I did some of the fundamental research so you don't have to. Now, before we dive in, there are three core terms I want to spell out so there's no confusion. Monero, XMR, and MRL. Monero is a decentralized crypto network focused on private, untraceable, digital cash transactions. Monero is also the name of the cryptocurrency. XMR is the three-letter ticker symbol that represents the Monero coin, and MRL, or Monero Research Lab, is a group of researchers and cryptographers who continue improving Monero today. Okay, so what is Monero, and what problem does it aim to solve? Monero is what's called a privacy coin. At its core, it's a digital currency that can be exchanged for goods, services, and other currencies, privately and with low fees. Some say it's what people wanted Bitcoin to be, but it's not like Bitcoin at all. Bitcoin is a completely transparent network. With Bitcoin, anyone can see how much a wallet holds, how much is sent between wallets, and which addresses are sending Bitcoin back and forth. In fact, Bitcoin is one of the most transparent payment networks in the world. Monero is the complete opposite though. It hides all of this information to protect user privacy. The sender, receiver, and amount sent are all hidden, so every Monero transaction is private by default. And unlike most other cryptocurrencies, Monero is actually meant to be used as a form of private payment. And if you're wondering where the heck you're supposed to spend Monero, there's a full list of merchants on their website that accept Monero as payment. And this list includes accountants, mechanics, debit card services, and dozens of other common goods and services. But Monero has a really interesting backstory that most people don't know about. It hasn't always been Monero. Before Monero became what it's known as today, it was forked twice. A fork in crypto simply means that the rules of a blockchain are changed to create a new version of it. Monero actually came from another cryptocurrency that launched in 2012 called Bitcoin, or BCN. Bitcoin was launched anonymously, and the rules behind it were published by a mysterious author named Nicholas Van Soberhagen. But hardly anyone knew about Bitcoin until someone posted about it on the popular Bitcoin Talk forum 2 years later in 2014. Members looked into the project and quickly realized the technology was impressive and unlike anything they had ever seen before. But there was one major problem. More than 80% of Bitcoin's total supply had already been mined, meaning a small group of people already controlled a huge portion of the total supply. But because the technology behind Bitcoin was so impressive, the community members didn't just want to abandon it. So they decided to give it a fresh start. An anonymous Bitcoin Talk user named Thankful for Today decided to fork Bitcoin to create BitMonero, giving everyone a fair chance to start mining the coin without insiders already owning most of the supply. But within just a few weeks, Thankful for Today started making decisions the community disagreed with and refused to listen to their feedback. So a group of developers took over the project, they forked it again, dropped Bit from the name, and Monero was officially born as a community-driven project. And that's the Monero we all know today. Many of Monero's early developers stayed anonymous, but a couple revealed who they were. The most well-known is Riccardo Spagni, who helped lead and maintain Monero for years. Another early core member was David Latipi, who also contributed to the project. And because Monero is open source, there are now dozens of developers, contributors, and researchers around the world helping improve it without one company controlling the project. The Monero Research Lab is one group within this larger community focused specifically on research. But what problem does Monero aim to solve, and why is it banned on so many crypto exchanges? This is where it gets really interesting. Monero was created to solve two big problems found with transparent cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin: privacy and fungibility. Fungibility means one coin should be equal to any other coin. But on public blockchains, wallet balances and transaction histories can be seen by anyone. That means people can see how much crypto an address holds and where that crypto is being sent and received from. It can also cause your coins to get flagged by a crypto exchange if they're linked to a crime in the past. And that's another problem Monero aims to solve. Some people argue that crypto like Bitcoin is flawed as a currency because every transaction leaves behind a public digital trail that can be tracked.
Bitcoin is not this. This is not cash. It is not cash. Sorry, Pierre. Bitcoin is more like this, like a credit card. I will tell you why it is more like a credit card. Because every time you are doing a transaction, it is stored in a database forever. And fortunately, thanks to the bank secrecy, only you, your bank, and of course the law enforcement is able to know what you did with this money. But with Bitcoin, you don't have this. You don't have bank secrecy on Bitcoin, so everyone in the world can know what everyone did.
That means a crypto exchange can freeze funds or flag your deposit if you accidentally send them a dirty coin, even if you bought it legally and had no idea it was used for something illegal before. And the only reason an exchange can know that Bitcoin may be tied to a crime is because of Bitcoin's transaction history. It's all public. So if one Bitcoin can be treated differently just because of its past, then they aren't always treated like equal money. That's what fungibility means. One coin should be treated the same as another. Monero aims to solve this by hiding transaction history by default, and this starts to explain why Monero is banned on so many centralized crypto exchanges. But to really understand why exchanges don't offer Monero, we have to look at how exchanges operate. They're a lot like banks. They have to follow strict laws that are meant to stop money laundering and track where money is going. In other words, they have to be all up in everyone's business. There's very little privacy. To follow these rules, exchanges use tools like Chainalysis to look at blockchain activity and check whether crypto may be connected to something risky or illegal. This can create what's called the blacklist effect. For example, if Bitcoin passes through a wallet that's connected to a hack, illegal gambling site, or some darknet marketplace, that history follows it. So when you eventually send that Bitcoin to an exchange, the deposit could then be frozen or flagged. And now you may have to prove where the money came from, or you won't be able to even access your money. But with Monero, privacy isn't just an extra feature, it's a core part of how the coin works. By hiding transaction history, Monero makes it so an XMR you spend today doesn't come with a visible history from yesterday. But that also means exchanges can't track Monero the same way they can track Bitcoin, and that makes it much harder for them to follow anti-money laundering and travel rule requirements. So, for many regulated exchanges, Monero becomes a risk, and instead of dealing with that risk, they simply choose not to offer it. But there are some other very important things you should know about Monero because, like I said, this is an extremely unique crypto, and part of what makes it so unique is how it works. Unlike Bitcoin, which has a capped supply of 21 million coins, XMR has no fixed maximum supply. That's because Monero uses something called till emission, which simply means new XMR will continue to be created forever at a small fixed rate. When I first learned this, I thought, how could XMR ever be valuable if the supply never stops growing? Well, here are 3 main arguments I found for why Monero has no fixed supply and why that might actually be a good thing. And let me know what you think about these arguments down in the comments. First, it creates predictable inflation. Monero's supply grows by a fixed 0.6 XMR per block, which works out to be around 157,000 new XMR per year. But here's the key part. That number stays the same even as the total supply continues growing. So over time, those new coins make up a smaller and smaller percentage of the total supply, meaning Monero's inflation rate slowly moves closer to 0%. Second, it helps keep the network secure. Monero's block rewards never completely disappear, which means miners will always have a reason to keep securing the network. With a hard cap crypto like Bitcoin, block rewards eventually drop to 0, meaning miners will have to rely entirely on transaction fees as a reward for securing the network. And third, and this is the most interesting to me, it can help offset lost coins. Crypto gets permanently lost all the time from forgotten private keys, lost seed phrases, and abandoned wallets. So while Monero keeps adding a small amount of new XMR into circulation, some XMR is also being lost forever. The idea is that this could help balance out the actual amount of usable Monero over time. Now, like every crypto I cover on this channel, I also want to look at the biggest red flags, and with Monero, there are really 3 worth considering before deciding if it's something that you want to own. First is the delisting risk. Monero's biggest strength, its privacy, is also one of its biggest weaknesses when it comes to adoption. The more exchanges that remove Monero, the harder it's going to become to buy and sell it using normal dollars. That pushes people towards using peer-to-peer platforms, decentralized exchanges, or atomic swaps, which are all much harder to use for beginners than a crypto exchange. Second, Monero can hide what happens on the blockchain, but it can't hide everything you do in real life. Meaning, if you buy XMR from an exchange that already knows your identity because you KYC'd, or you expose your IP address while using Monero, you can still leave clues that connect the activity back to you as a person. Even Monero itself warns that its privacy isn't magic. The blockchain will protect the transaction, but it can't protect you from exposing your own identity outside of it. Third is the risk of too much mining power ending up in one group's hands. Monero relies on miners to verify transactions and keep the network running. So if one group ever controlled more than half of the mining power, they could potentially overpower the rest of the network and interfere with recent transactions. In some cases, they could even reverse their own transaction and spin the same XMR twice. It's basically an unlimited money hack. This became a big topic in 2025 when a mining project called Cubic claimed to have taken control of more than half of Monero's mining power. People on X started saying Monero had suffered a 51% attack, but later research found no proof that Cubic ever actually controlled more than half of the network. To prevent this, Monero released an update that allows regular computers to mine it, which helps spread the mining power across more people. And the more spread out the mining power is, or the more decentralized it is, the harder it is for one group to take control of the entire network. Okay, now before we get into how and where to buy Monero, since it's banned on many exchanges, let's do a quick recap. Monero is a crypto made for private payments. It exists because most blockchains like Bitcoin are public and easy to track, and the problem it aims to solve is privacy and making sure one coin is treated the same as another, no matter where it came from. And one of the biggest risks is a 51% attack where one group gains enough mining power to overpower the rest of the network. Fortunately, not every exchange has removed Monero, at least not yet. You can still buy it on centralized exchanges like Kraken, at least here in the US, and I'll drop a link to Kraken down in the description if you want to set up an account there and check out Monero. But remember, if you buy XMR on a centralized crypto exchange, the exchange knows who you are and they know that you bought it. So where you buy XMR really depends on your goal. If your goal is to simply buy it as an investment and hope that the price goes up, then sure, you can just buy it on a centralized exchange like Kraken. But if you want the benefit of the privacy, there are two main options. The first is a peer-to-peer marketplace like Bisq. There's no KYC here and no centralized middleman, so you're buying it directly from another person. Or if you already own crypto like Bitcoin and you want to swap it for XMR, you can use a decentralized exchange like BasicSwap. This lets you trade Bitcoin for Monero without using a centralized exchange in the middle. And I'll be sure to drop a full list of peer-to-peer marketplaces and decentralized exchanges directly from Monero's website down in the description if you want to check them out. Arguably though, many people probably only care about one thing when it comes to Monero. Is it a good investment and will the price go up? Historically, Monero has trended up over the long term. That said, I don't do price predictions on my channel because I think it's silly and I also think it's irresponsible. But I think the future price of XMR really comes down to one thing. Will more people want private digital money? If demand for privacy keeps growing, XMR could benefit. But if governments and exchanges keep making Monero harder to buy and sell, that could hold it back. That said, if you do end up buying Monero, the most important thing isn't even where you buy it. It's actually how you store it. Because Monero is under so much pressure from exchanges and from the government, I think it's a massive risk to hold XMR on a centralized exchange because at any point, Monero could be removed and you could be forced to either sell it or withdraw it before a certain deadline. Also, when your crypto is sitting on an exchange, you don't actually own or control it anyways. It's basically a digital IOU. So if you want your XMR and other crypto to be in your control, you need to move it into your own self-custodial cold wallet. But Monero works a little differently than most cryptos. To use XMR with your cold wallet, you have to connect your wallet to a separate Monero wallet app. Not every cold wallet supports this, but one brand I recommend that does support it is Ledger, which works with the official Monero app. The Ledger wallet keeps your private keys protected offline, which is what you want, while the Monero app lets you see, send, and receive your XMR using the Ledger device. If you want to see how easy it is to set up and use one of my favorite Ledger wallets, check out my full user guide next. Or if you don't know what a cold wallet even is and why it's so essential for protecting and actually owning your crypto long term, watch my free cold wallet masterclass in this next video. I'll meet you over there. God bless. Peace out.